What's up, YouTube? Big Papa Jake here, back again with another figure opening. And this one wasn't out hunting for, but I certainly, on my sometimes daily stop, was glad to pick this one up. It is Bret Hart. I guess I'll call it a basic 146. I'm not really sure what they renamed the basics. They're going to remarket them, but this is Bret Hart. There's a chase in the black and pink. This is the all pink. I believe this is the standard one. And I was excited to pick this up. Any and all things Bret Hart figures I absolutely love. And I'm going to go into my thoughts on Bret Hart in just a second. But this is from WrestleMania 3, apparently. And I went back and did a little looking, and yeah, absolutely, this is what him and the Anvil wore in WrestleMania 3 when they teamed with Dangerous Danny Davis. First time I ever saw an evil ref gimmick, and I loved it. It was awesome against the Bulldogs and Tito, don't call me Chico Santana. Great match. Bulldogs at the time were awesome. Hart Foundation still is my favorite tag team, and I've always had a sweet spot for tag team wrestling. I could go on and on about tag teams and you know how I feel about them. But anyway, let's get to the figure real quick here. Bret the Hitman Hart, Series 146. Again, the basics and whatever they're renaming them. Let's look at the back. So the signature move, the sharpshooter. Bret the Hitman Hart. There's a nice glamour shot of him. He came in the set with Roman, Shayna Baszler, got Kevin Owens. I like this Kevin Owens figure too. It's for a basic, and I don't collect basics, but that one with him, and they also came out with Sammy a few earlier in their WrestleMania 39 get-ups when they won the titles from the Usos. And then Giovanni Vinci, who just recently got kicked out of Emporium, anyhow, so yeah, and then of course, as I said, Roman Reigns, I'm gonna throw one up for Roman Reigns. Can't wait for him to come back. Anyhow, so let's crack this open and see what Bret the Hitman Hart looks like. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Bret the Hitman Hart figures. I have been one of the more vocal, critical guys. I cannot stand the head scans on most Bret the Hitman Harts. But this one seems to be okay. Other than the scraggly hair right over his eyes. I don't know why they tend to want to do that. But as you take a look, you see, I mean, if they had a little bit to the side, like in his pictures, maybe. But it always goes right over his eyes. Drives me nuts. And then, you know, the head scan's pretty good, I guess, on this one. Get a little closer. That head scan's pretty okay for Bret the Hitman Hart. I've seen some that look like he's, I'd say a retarded version of Whoopi Goldberg, but that'd be repetitive. Anyhow, yeah, but this figure's pretty sharp. No pun intended. It's got the all pink before they even wore with the hearts on the upper shirt there. It's got the pretty decent movement here. The elbows, look at that, see? And I don't know if they're pinless elbows. I don't think they are, but you can move these a lot more than the old basics. I remember I had a basic Rey Mysterio that was pretty much straight up and down, and you couldn't do anything with them. So these new basics are pretty slick. You got some more movement, obviously not as much movement as in the Elite Series or the other ones. I can't think of their name now. But anyhow, yeah, I love this figure. It's actually a pretty good Bret Hart. I'm going to put this with my Golden Era figures. I already have the Hart Foundation represented in their blue WrestleMania 2 getup, and but this will go well. Hopefully they come out with an Anvil shortly that'll look dressed in the similar stuff from WrestleMania 3. Favorite WrestleMania 3. I mean, I'm 50, anyone who's my age, WrestleMania 3 is pretty much going to be their favorite WrestleMania if they're a wrestling fan. So yeah, love WrestleMania 3. Has a sweet spot in my heart. For his goofy stuff was in there. the hype, the tag team wrestling that was prevalent, the Hulk versus Andre spectacle, 90,000 plus fans in Pontiac Silverdome. WrestleMania 3 kills it all. But anyway, so here is the Hitman. Really love it. Great figure for a basic, or for whatever they call basics now. If you know what basics are called now, comment down below. All three of you who even watch these videos, one of you knows what basics are called now, let me know. But yeah, if you got these little straggly hairs out of the way, it would look just like Bret Hart. So anyway, thumbs up on this. Look at you got the arms. Ooh, it even does nice splits. Got side to side on the legs. The knees would bend if it weren't for these knee braces. Elbows bend if it weren't for the elbow braces or elbow pads he's got on. Yeah, pretty nice. So thumbs up for this, for the $10.50 or whatever basics are going for now. Yeah, so let me just talk a little bit about Bret Hart and kind of where I stand on him. Hart Foundation, again, my favorite tag team ever. I will watch any Hart Foundation match against any opponents. He had a lot of great matches with Demolition, Killer Bees, Bulldogs. I mean, that was huge. When they turned face, even, I still loved them. With or without Jimmy Hart, loved the Hart Foundation. Now, I was not watching WWE after the golden era when Macho and Hulk defected to WCW. Pretty much so did I. So I didn't really see that beginning era of Bret Hart in a singles run as far as it being in the world title run. I did catch him in the Intercontinental run in the early 90s with Roddy Piper and all that other happy stuff. And yeah, here's what I'll say. Loved Hart Foundation, loved Bret Hart as a tag team wrestler. Didn't get exposed to him as the singles wrestler in the early to mid 90s. And then obviously when he came to WCW, they did not use him correctly. So I really wasn't a fan of what he brought to the table because the creative was horrible. Basically, I almost view, and I know Bret Hart isn't what put the dagger in WCW, but that time, that era, that is where I think WCW lost it. Was when they signed Bret Hart, and then they just, their creative went down the hill. And I know all the stories. I've heard Eric Bischoff's podcast talking about the downfall of WCW, and I know it was more than just the creative, but that didn't help. So my exposure to Bret Hart as a singles really didn't start happening until I got back into wrestling it's 2016, 2017. I started watching the old stuff on the network and on Peacock. Appreciate his single stuff, but I will say this, and again, it doesn't take anything away from the wrestler he is, but every time I read something that Bret Hart puts out recently, not even recently, over the last 5-10 years since he retired for good, I feel like he is one of the biggest whiny, you fill in the blank, out there as far as his career and blaming people. What he blames Goldberg for his career ending, and maybe that was it. I don't think that Goldberg's kick did it, but who am I to say? Bret Hart was the one that had that happen to him medically, so he would know. Nonetheless, someone like Bret Hart, who was exposed to the business, brought up in the business, his family's in the business, he lost a brother in the business, he should at the very least know accidents happen, stuff happens. Goldberg is who Goldberg is. You got to get over it. You got to be the bigger kid in the room, and Bret Hart never seems to be. Everything he talks about, everything he says is negative. Now, this might be the way he's covered. He might be saying positive things, and they just don't get covered. People just publish what Bret says negative and move on, and that happens. But my point is that I wouldn't call myself a Hitman fan. Now, that being said, almost every Hitman figure I'm getting. The only one I haven't pulled a trigger on recently is the Monday Night War Ultimate Edition, because I've been spending too damn much on figures as it is. So, But anyhow, yeah, Hitman put a mic in front of him, and unfortunately, he's gonna say something that's just not, makes him sound less than. It makes him sound whiny. He is bigger than that. He could be bigger than the business. He could be Hulk 2.0. I mean, he is revered in wrestling circles. I won't say by the general casual fan, but in wrestling circles, Bret Hart is revered almost as much as, if not more, than Hulk Hogan, even with some of the stupid shit he says. So yeah, I don't really care for. I can't call myself a Bret Hart fan. I'm a Hart Foundation fan. I love what he did in his career, but I just feel like he's kind of taken some of the shine off of it with his comments and that. But as far as this figure goes, this figure's a fire. Love it, love it, love it. As far as basics go, I got the Hulkster in his workout gear earlier in the year. This is up there. It's probably, if not as good, maybe even better than that. But yeah, I'm going to put this in my Golden Era shelf, and he'll be sitting right next to the Hart Foundation with the blue and black on from WrestleMania 2. And yeah, I'm looking forward to putting this in there. Going to be a few more videos coming in the next few days, because I just got updates that my Dudley Boys have shipped from Ringside Collectibles. I will be, can't wait to talk about the Dudley Boys. You might be surprised what I have to say about them, but nonetheless, they've not been in my collection, so I can't wait to get the Dudleys. And by then, hopefully some of my other stuff will be shipping. Other than that, it's kind of dried up. Like I said to you guys, really the only one I was out looking for is Andre in the Superstars line. I haven't seen hide nor hair, but I almost forgot about this figure. I was looking for it when I first saw it announced, and I'm like, ooh, I would pull the trigger on that. Found the Chase, which was the black and pink. Have way too many figures like that look just like a basic. You know, I have a basics one that I use in my WCW Bret Hart shelf, and yeah, so I was like, but when I saw this Chase, I'm like, or the regular Bret Hart basic, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get this. This is pretty tight. So anyhow, like and comment, subscribe, all that other good stuff. I know the 3 people who subscribe to me now. Maybe one of you will watch this and possibly even get the word out. If anyone just wants to hear an old fat middle-aged dude who likes to call himself Big Papa talk about wrestling, talk about figures, just kind of keep it real and talk about my perspective. I know there's a lot of guys in my age range who collect, who still watch. Again, I've been watching wrestling since I was 8 years old, so 42 years. My kids are into it now, and you know, it kind of keeps me into it. But yeah, now they're almost getting old enough where they're not even paying attention. I'm still watching. So, but yeah, the figure collection thing, I'm kind of hooked, and yeah, like to hear your questions, thoughts below, and yeah, looking forward to when my Dudleys get here. I can do a little bit on the Dudleys, and you might be surprised what I have to say about them. So anyway, until next time, for Bret Hart WrestleMania 3, best WrestleMania ever, Big Papa Jake saying, you know, good luck hunting out there. Hopefully you're as lucky as I have been in the last few weeks. So keep the hunt going. Talk to you later. Deuces, deuces.